Imagine this for a moment. You're about to uncover a secret that only a few people know, but one that could change your life in an instant. This secret promises the key to instant success. You know, that moment when everything aligns perfectly, and you go from being in the shadows to basking in the spotlight in the blink of an eye. You've seen it in movies, heard it in motivational speeches, maybe even dreamed about it while scrolling through social media. People becoming famous, rich, and successful overnight. You might be thinking, this must be the secret to success. But what if I told you that this secret doesn't exist? Success in reality is not a straight line from the bottom to the top, achieved in an instant. It's not a race where you cross the finish line in the blink of an eye. No, success is more like a mountain to climb. A winding path filled with detours, false starts, failures, and tiny invisible victories. Everything you see today, the stories of fame, glory, and instant success often results from hundreds of hours of hard work, perseverance, and hidden effort. So why the obsession with quick success? Why, in a world where everything moves so fast and every second counts, are we all chasing that magic recipe to succeed overnight? What makes us believe that success can appear like a shooting star, without preparation, without hard work? Have we forgotten that behind every shining moment, there is a long period of invisible effort? Welcome to the real world of success. A reality where failures are not obstacles, but necessary steps in the process. A reality where every small advancement, every failure, every mistake is part of a complex but incredibly rewarding journey. Are you ready to destroy this myth and uncover the true key to success? Let's go. We live in a society that sells us a glorified version of success, an image that promises you can cross the finish line in the blink of an eye. It almost makes you believe success is a sprint, requiring just a moment of glory to reach the top. But in reality, success is far more complex. It's more like a long, grueling journey through a desert. A path where every step seems insignificant at first. Imagine this. You're walking under the scorching heat of doubt, fatigue, and uncertainty. You have no idea if an oasis of success awaits you at the end of the path. And often, that oasis doesn't appear as soon as you expect. Along the way, you face trials, obstacles that feel insurmountable. You keep moving forward without seeing any results, without perceiving the rewards, until finally, after years of invisible effort, success bursts into view. But it's all too easy to forget everything that happened before that oasis became visible. This mirrors the myth of overnight success that we've all heard of, seen, or even dreamed about. The myth that convinces us that great achievements come out of nowhere, that successful people just have a small breakthrough in a world that welcomes them with open arms. But if you look closer, behind every success lies a much longer story, one filled with failures, sacrifices, and persistence. What we don't see is the slow erosion of doubts that happens before everything seems to click. Take Elon Musk, the visionary who became the world's richest man thanks to Tesla and SpaceX. You see him now as a genius, an innovator, the creator of revolutionary companies. But did you know he came close to bankruptcy multiple times? Whether it was during the launch of SpaceX or Tesla, Musk faced extreme financial difficulties and months of disillusionment. When SpaceX was first launching, the rockets failed. The public mocked him, and even his friends doubted his success. At one point, he bet everything he had to continue funding his projects, unsure if it would work out. He almost lost everything: his money, his dreams, his reputation. But rather than give up, he kept moving forward, learning from his failures, adjusting his vision. It wasn't luck. His success was forged in the fires of challenges, mistakes, and perseverance. And then there's J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, who had her manuscript rejected by 12 publishers before a small publisher finally decided to release the first book. Imagine that, a writer rejected 12 times. What if she had given up after the third rejection, the fifth, or even the 10th? She would have missed out on the most lucrative literary phenomenon of modern times, a global saga that has shaped generations of readers. Instead of letting rejection defeat her, Rowling persevered, believing in her story even when she didn't know if anyone would ever read it. She was rejected, ignored, but never gave up on her project, and it was that tenacity that led her to the top. The myth of overnight success? It's more toxic than it seems. All we see in the media, on social networks, or even in interviews with the famous is the final version of the story. We see the success, the money, the recognition. But what we don't see is all the invisible work behind it. Everything that happened in the shadows before the spotlight was turned on. You don't hear about the hundreds of nights spent working with no visible results. You don't see the hours spent failing, trying again and again. It's not a story of luck, but one of perseverance, failure, and constant learning. Those who succeed didn't discover the magic recipe for instant success. They built their empire brick by brick, learning from each fall, each mistake. The myth of overnight success is a trap. It's an illusion that makes us believe everything happens overnight, that success is reserved for a lucky few. But the truth, every great achievement is the result of days, months, even years of invisible effort. It's built on solid foundations of hard work, resilience, and sacrifice. Behind every moment of glory, there is a story of tenacity that deserves to be shared. You've likely heard of the 10,000-hour rule. According to psychologist Anders Ericsson, this is the amount of time it takes to achieve exceptional proficiency in any field. Want to become an expert, a genius in your field? Then you're looking at thousands of hours of hard work ahead of you. But wait, that's not about luck or innate talent. Mastery requires consistent effort. True success doesn't come from a sudden leap to glory. It's built through the slow, steady accumulation of small victories, dedicated daily practice. By the way, all the references I mentioned are in the description below. Check them out for more insights. Take the example of a virtuoso musician. Talent may help, but to reach the highest levels of skill requires years of intense practice. Every note, every piece of music, every rehearsal is part of a long, ongoing process of learning. It doesn't happen overnight. Consider Bela Bartok or Ludwig van Beethoven, two music legends. Their iconic compositions didn't emerge in a few months. Their journeys were filled with thousands of hours of repetition, experimentation, and failure. Even the greats, those who seem to have a natural gift, put in immense effort to perfect their craft. Discipline and consistency are what make the difference. The 10,000-hour rule is a tough reminder that success isn't a fleeting stroke of luck. It's the result of persistent pursuit, hard work, and the will to get back up after failure. You must be ready to spend time in the shadows, to fail, try again and again, before seeing the first signs of success. James Clear, in his bestseller Atomic Habits, introduces a fascinating concept, the plateau of latent potential. Imagine it like growing a plant. You plant the seed in the soil, and for days you see nothing. The ground remains undisturbed, the plant stays hidden. But beneath the surface, the roots are twisting, growing, finding their way. This is exactly what success looks like. Progress isn't always visible at first. Sometimes you work tirelessly without seeing any immediate results, feeling stuck, as if your efforts are in vain. You start to doubt yourself, wondering if you'll ever see the fruits of your labor. But the truth is, progress is happening beneath the surface. It's only after some time, when the foundation has been laid, that the plant emerges and bursts into full bloom. Think of the iceberg analogy. What you see on the surface is the final, polished success. But beneath that surface lies all the invisible work, the preparation, and the pain that is hidden from view. The greatest accomplishments are never random. They're the result of months, sometimes years, of unseen effort that the world doesn't notice until it's too late. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a signal that you're on the right track, even if you can't see the growth yet. Don't be discouraged by how slowly progress seems to happen. Every step you take today is a brick in the foundation of your future success. Let's talk about grit, a concept that Angela Duckworth frequently explores in her work. According to Duckworth, grit is one of the most decisive factors for success. She explains that passion and long-term perseverance are often more important than talent or luck. It's the ability to persist despite setbacks, to keep moving forward even when the road gets tough. One compelling example? Steve Jobs. Many people know his story, the man behind Apple, the one who redefined technology as we know it. But before becoming the visionary of Apple, Jobs faced one of the most public failures in business history. In 1985, he was fired from his own company, Apple, the very company he had founded. It was an embarrassing defeat. After that setback, many people thought his story was over. But Steve Jobs didn't succumb to depression or bitterness. Instead, he bounced back with resilience. Rather than seeing his firing as the end, he used it as fuel to redefine his future. Jobs founded Next, a tech company that specialized in high-end computers, before Apple eventually acquired Next in 1996, allowing him to return to the company. Upon his return, Jobs transformed Apple, turning it into one of the most powerful tech giants in the world. His grit didn't just make him rich. It made him one of the most influential figures in the technology industry. Jobs' success wasn't the result of extraordinary talent or mind-blowing luck. It was the outcome of unwavering perseverance, a refusal to be knocked down, and a clear vision of what he wanted to achieve. It wasn't fate that made him successful. It was his commitment to his dream despite repeated failures. True strength lies not in raw talent, but in the ability to stay true to your mission even when things don't go as planned. Got a vision? Don't let failure stop you. Grit is the key. When everything seems to fall apart, the ability to persist will make the difference between those who succeed and those who give up. So what's the real secret to success? There's no magic formula, no shortcut. True success is built over time, through effort and unwavering perseverance. It's a journey of countless hours of invisible work, hidden progress, and persistence in the face of failure. Success is not a sprint. It's a marathon where every small step brings you closer to your goal. Be prepared to invest your 10,000 hours to master your craft. Accept that progress may be invisible at first, but it's happening. And finally, never let failure defeat you, because it's often the very thing that leads to future success. It's not luck that smiles on the bold. It's grit, investment, and long-term commitment. So what will be your next step on this journey? The key to your success is in your hands. You just need to never give up. Facing failure, the art of learning and resilience. One of the biggest challenges you now face on your journey to success is staying motivated when results aren't immediate. It's easy to get discouraged when your efforts don't seem to yield results. You've worked hard, sacrificed time and energy, yet nothing is going as planned. There's no instant victory, and the signs of progress are barely visible. Maybe you're even close to giving up, telling yourself it might not be meant for you after all. The truth is, it's those moments when the road feels tough and the results invisible that truly define your ability to succeed. Success isn't about luck. It's about resilience in the face of failure and slow progress. You've probably heard the saying, failure is a step toward success. Despite its popularity, many still struggle to fully embrace it. When we fail, it can feel like we're stuck in a pit, and persisting can seem pointless. But failure, far from being an end, is actually a necessary part of the learning process. It helps you grow, adjust your strategy, and refine your skills. Failure becomes your ally, not your enemy. Take a moment to consider a fundamental aspect of success. Every great achievement requires constant learning. And to learn, sometimes you have to make mistakes. Mistakes force you to see things from a new perspective, to find fresh solutions, and to avoid the same pitfalls in the future. A student who fails an exam and reflects on it, or an athlete who loses a competition, but works even harder on their weaknesses, never truly loses. They learn. Every obstacle becomes a valuable lesson. The power of small steps. How to stay motivated in a world where we're used to seeing instant results through technology and social media. The slowness of progress can be frustrating. You start a project with enthusiasm, but after a few weeks you realize the results are nearly imperceptible. You begin doubting yourself and your ability to succeed. The key to overcoming this frustration is to celebrate the small wins. Set short-term goals, incremental steps to stay on track. It might sound simple, but it's an incredibly effective strategy. If you focus solely on the end goal, the gap between where you are now and what you want to achieve can feel too large, too intimidating. But if you break it down into smaller, more achievable steps, you'll notice progress, and that will keep you motivated to push forward. For example, if you want to write a book rather than focusing on writing an entire book, start by writing a chapter. Don't overwhelm yourself with the entire project. It may take weeks or even months, but every word you write brings you closer to your goal. Instead of judging yourself harshly for not completing the whole thing in a few days, celebrate each paragraph completed. This is how you'll keep your motivation intact, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Another important concept to keep in mind is the notion of invisible progress. As mentioned earlier with the plateau of latent potential, you might sometimes work hard without seeing immediate results. Don't let these moments of stagnation discourage you. Imagine you're trying to break a rock. Each hammer strike may seem ineffective, but even though you can't see the crack, each strike is weakening the rock. One day a simple strike will shatter what once seemed unbreakable. It's the same with your efforts. You're not wasting time. You're laying the groundwork for future success. The long-term vision. How to handle periods of doubt. Periods of doubt, where progress feels minimal, are inevitable in any venture. You'll sometimes wonder if it's really worth it. If you're not seeing immediate returns, if others seem to be progressing faster or better, you may be tempted to throw in the towel. It's in these exact moments that the long-term vision becomes crucial. When you commit to a project, it's essential to keep your end goal in mind, but to embrace it with a long-term perspective. For example, if you're working on a physical transformation, don't just focus on the number of pounds you need to lose or your physical appearance. It might take months or even years to see visible results. But if you focus on the long-term benefits, such as improved health, regained energy, or boosted self-confidence, your motivation will remain strong. Big achievements take time. Sometimes life throws obstacles at us to test our commitment and will. If you hold firm, if you keep taking one step at a time, you'll find that the results unfold gradually. Now, let us look at some concrete strategies to help you overcome those moments when progress feels slow and doubt creeps in. Visualize your goals. Visualization is a powerful technique. Spend a few minutes each day imagining where you want to be in 6 months, a year, or even 5 years. This clear image of long-term success will help keep you focused during tough times. Break down your goals. As mentioned earlier, break your long-term goals into smaller steps. Each small step you complete becomes a victory in itself, and it provides a sense of success in your daily life. Find a support system. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and encourage you to keep going. It could be a mentor, a friend, or even an online community with similar goals. Support and encouragement are essential during periods of doubt. Celebrate the small wins. Don't downplay your small achievements. Celebrating each step builds your confidence and helps maintain a positive attitude toward effort. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, gets you closer to your ultimate goal. Remember that failure is a step, not the end. Failure is inevitable, but don't let it define your journey. Failure is not an obstacle. It's a stepping stone to success. Learn from every failure, adjust your strategy, and keep going. In the end, the real key to success, even when progress seems slow, is to never lose sight of the long-term goal. Stay true to your vision, even in difficult times. Every small step, every mistake, every partial success brings you closer to your ultimate goal. And above all, remember, you never lose as long as you keep moving forward. The path to success is not always linear. It's filled with ups and downs, but the difference between those who succeed and those who give up lies in perseverance, in the commitment to continue despite the obstacles. You have everything you need to succeed. You just need to keep moving forward, step by step. So how do you stay strong when everything is moving so slowly? By trusting in your own ability to learn, grow, and improve. Because one day, your hard work will pay off. And when that day comes, you'll be grateful you persevered. The success you see around you, the stars, the entrepreneurs, the game changers, is never a result of chance. It's not luck that allowed them to shine, but their ability to persevere, to work tirelessly behind the scenes while everything seemed to move at a slow pace. True success isn't about instant bursts of glory. It's about the invisible moments where every small action, every effort, every failure inches us closer to something extraordinary. The truth is, behind every massive success story, there's a long period of work, sacrifice, and resilience. The time spent failing, starting over, learning from mistakes. All of this is part of the process. The road to success is full of uncertainty and moments when you question yourself, but it is precisely those times that make every victory all the more valuable. It is the result of continuous effort, perseverance, and passion for what you do. Are you ready to walk this path? To embrace failure as a normal part of the journey? To keep pushing even when progress seems non-existent? Because true success isn't measured in instant results. It's measured in that invisible momentum that leads to the big moment when everything aligns. The path may be tough, but it's within reach for those who dare to walk it. So what are you waiting for to start? Don't let the fear of failure or the slow pace of progress hold you back. Every small step you take today is a brick in the foundation of your future success. Take that first step, and remember that the magic of perseverance lies in the invisible work you do every day. Share your own experiences with failure and perseverance in the comments. What are your biggest lessons on the road to success? Together, let's create a future where success is no longer a myth but a concrete reality, forged through our efforts and determination. The journey begins now. Are you ready to take that first step? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more practical tips, and most importantly, hit the bell so you never miss out on your journey toward becoming your best self. Leave a comment. Let me know what you've learned and how you plan to put this into practice. We're in this together, so share this video with someone who might need it too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.